Welcome back to Travels with Preston. If this is your first time stopping by, salute to you. You can catch me every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on my channel. Do not forget to open the description box and check out my other links to my social media platforms. Also, hit the like button and subscribe to become part of the travel family. Leave a comment and tell me what you think about today's episode. Check out my previous episodes and let me know what you think of those too. Today, I will be talking about how much money I spend on trips/vacations per year. For some of y'all, this number will be kind of low, and others going to be like, damn, that's too damn high. Bear with me, all right? This is just food for thought. This is what I do. This is what Preston do. With that being said, here we go. So the first thing that I like to do is do my research. Research, all right? So I start my research off by going to blogs, websites, and just pretty much just talking to other people. So with the blogs, you can get into some type of some of the forums and stuff like that. You could just see, like, you could just ask, simple questions like, hey, what is there to do? What is some of the stuff off of the beaten path? How many days should I spend? And that's the same thing with the websites. You can go to other bloggers and they can do the research for you. So there's all types of information out there that you can use for your benefit. You know what I'm saying? As I say, you don't have to recreate the wheel. And then just talking to other people, so many people, been to so many different locations, and a lot of times we just recycle locations. You see the same type of pictures, so you be like, oh, they've been there too. So, for the most part, you can just keep rocking with it, and maybe you'll find a little hidden gem that nobody knows. Every year I come in and say, hey, I'm only going to do these type of trips, so therefore I only need 5,000. Okay, this year is going to be crazy. I want to do 10,000. So that varies year to year, so that I don't ever have a set budget every single year. Maybe I should, but I don't. All right, so then while you're on the trip, make sure you stick to your budget, because I have been with people that be like, hey, man, I came in with $1,000, spending money. We 2-3 days in, next thing you know, like, damn, I ain't got no money. I'll be like, so what you saying, you gonna go hungry? Because Preston didn't bring money for both of us. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't know who else is out there like that, but I know I am. I'm be like, hey, what you eating? So make sure you stick to your travel budget on that. You also want to budget for incidentals, because you never know when there's an emergency. You can lose your equipment. You can, be robbed. You lose your cell phone, whatever the case may be. You might even have to fly back home early, or take a train or cruise, or whatever the case may be, to actually get back home. So you always want to have incidental money that you just keep to the side. Now that is going to vary depending on where you at. Pretty much you just want to make sure you have enough to pretty much get home. That's the incidental money that you need. So if you're only a $200 flight away, hey, maybe you only need $250 just for taxes or whatever, or luggage, and that's all you need. But if you're all the way across the world and plane tickets run $1,000 at the spare of a moment, hey, you might want to have $1,000 laying around, so just in case you have to go home. All right, so the next one is, I like to talk about family trips and solo trips, because that's what's going to vary for the money, okay? So I look at it two different ways: family trips, solo trips. That's going to determine how much fun I have, because obviously if it's a solo trip, I can do a little bit more. I can move a little bit more freely, you know what I'm saying? So I can do a little bit more things. If it's a family trip, then I know, since I'm a family of 7, God bless my daughters and my son and my wife, that sometimes they don't want to do certain things. And I know this. So I'd be like, well, I don't need to budget for this. If I want to skydive, family not doing that. If I want to snorkel, they might not want to do that. So I try to pick activities that I know they want to do. So then I'm like, hey, I know it costs this much. Let me do the research. Let me go to these different websites, and just see how much they cost, so I can see how much I need to spend. Because a lot of times I like to do stuff in advance. So I usually be like, oh, okay, well, I know we're going to do X, Y, and Z. let me go ahead and purchase the tickets early. So that way when I get there, the only thing I'm really doing is buying souvenirs and maybe food or something like that. And also, you want to look at like the age requirements and stuff like that, because hey, you don't want to spend money on something. Next thing you know, you get there and they be like, nah, hey, you got to be 16 to do this, or you got to be yay high to do this. You're going to be, really hurt by that. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely want to pay attention to that, all the requirements that go into each excursion or event. Next, how far in advance do I start saving? Now, this goes one or two ways for me. Sometimes I like to go a year out. And I say a year out because I'm always looking to the future. I'm always looking at next year to say, where do I possibly want to go? Like, I always start my research so that way I don't feel like, I'm under pressure, like, oh man, you miss out on something. So I always try to do about a year out. That's ideally. So ideally, I like to do a year out, go through my little list. I have a little checklist that I'll probably give you guys tips later on in another episode, but definitely a year out. And sometimes I do 6 months where like, hey, I just get the urge and be like, hey, I got to go on a trip. And, you might catch one of them hot deals. And then I say, hey, 6 months. But that usually gives me enough time to stack my money, save my money, and make sure that I'm comfortable with my budget. Make sure I'm not missing out on any type of excursions that I really wanted to see or do. So I definitely try to do that. I try to do that pretty much almost every trip. Like I said, no trip is going to be perfect. Sometimes you might get there and be like, damn, I didn't even know about this. That happens a lot. Quick story. When I went to Lima, I didn't do my research as well as I should have. I went to Lima, me and my friend, I just knew I was going to Machu Picchu. I was like, oh, I'm going to go. Even if it's just a day trip, I'm going to go, I'm going to have fun. I got to see that if you go to, Peru. Man, I get to Lima, I get to the front desk at the hotel. I was like, hey, I want to go to Machu Picchu. They like, oh, how long you going to be here? I was like, oh, just 3 or 4 days. And they was like, they ain't enough. I was like, what you talking about? And it just up the street, you know what I'm talking about? And they was like, hell no. They was like, oh, you got to catch a train or a plane. You got to go across the, I think it was the Andes Mountains. And I was like, damn. Like I said, I didn't do my research like I should have. So that ended up sucking because I didn't get a chance to go see Machu Picchu. So now I got to make a whole nother trip just to go. Now, just to, words to the wise that if you want to go to Machu Picchu, it's definitely not near Lima. You got to go to Cusco. So that's the next time I go to Peru, I'm doing that. And that'll be another episode. I'm going to try to vlog that episode as well. So the last thing I'd like to talk about is realistic trip goals. Make sure you try to understand that you cannot do everything in a short amount of time. I cannot stress that enough because some people come with this fast, furious, like, all right, at 9:01, we doing this. Hey, man, 9:17, we doing this. Man, come on, man. We here to relax. That's one. You do want to see everything, but you also want to take your time. That's what it goes back to topic number one, research. So there's been times where I might say, hey, I want to go to Berlin. Okay, I want to go to Berlin. Hey, how many days do I need in Berlin? Oh, if you want to see everything, you need 5 days. Just give an example. Okay, now I know when I plan my trip, I need to be planning for 5. Or if I can't squeeze 5, I say, hey, I can only do 2 days. All right, well, I do the 2 days. If I know I want to hit the major excursions or the major landmarks. So, okay, take that. And then I know the next trip, I'm going to hit the parts that like, hey, hey, if I see it, I see it. If I don't, I don't type of vibe. So that's very important. Don't try to squeeze everything in. All right. So that's my traveling, per year. That's how much, oh yeah, let me tell you how much I spend. So normally I spend anywhere between $5,000 to say $8,000. I know I probably should have mentioned that at the beginning, but if you stayed this long, hey, I spend about that much money every year. Hopefully next year, the budget goes up because there's a couple of trips like Antarctica that I want to go. And I know they start at like $5,000 to $10,000 or something like that. But that's been on my bucket list for a while. So please stay around for that trip. I think it's gonna be super dope. All right, y'all take it easy. Peace.